there's something that I get out of skiing. It makes me who I am. I have a lot of opportunity and I'm really grateful for that, but I look around and I am one of very few still.
You don't have to just be a professional athlete to understand a woman that is putting off having children for her career.
The winner is Elyse.
This timing is really right now for women to be embraced. This year, you were given the phone call to get to go to Alaska with TGR, and I can only imagine how it felt. How was it for you?
It's kind of a roller coaster because you are excited and then you're nervous, but then you're also appreciative that you're going to be up there with such a solid crew. The realities of Alaska is we've talked about, it's intense, it's real, and to have such a rock star crew was comforting, but also a little bit nerve-wracking because I also want to perform, And you and I had never worked together.
I was so impressed with your ability to realize that you're new at this and that we had something to offer, but you still were there for a reason. It's great to see another female step up to the plate, react positively, and feel like you're coming away from the situation, having learned something, and are ready to go back and do more.
There's one zone that was just so steep. In my head, I would never say it out loud. I was like, I can do that. And then I got on top of it and I was like, this is free falling.
Woo, baby. Skiing in Alaska is so incredibly difficult and mentally challenging.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. As much as it is an individual sport, we all perform a lot better when the group as a whole is having success.
That was sick.
We feed off each other's energy.
And it's different than watching a man, and this is something that I've really realized and been so lucky to have people like you and people like Veronica who are charging.
3, 2, 1.
I see Veronica do this massive backflip. If I saw a dude do it, I'd be like, sick. But I saw her do it, and then it becomes something that's in my wheelhouse. And it's similar to you, you're watching a woman ski this huge line. She's got ovaries too. You're like, nice, I can do that. And there's some real power in there. And I think, thankfully, we are moving from a place where the token female is no longer making it so that we have to, take each other's eyeballs out to get that spot. And I think that's allowing us to push each other in a more welcoming and well-rounded way of there's room for both of us, let's show them what we can do.
It's so funny because I've tried to articulate, even to myself, let alone in conversations, of why is it that another woman will push you more than a man does? And I still can't quite figure it out, but there's something that just happens to be, it's more your likeness. Yeah. And when you see your likeness, then you are more inspired. You're more ready to think I can do this too. If there's just one woman, it also makes you feel well, if there's just one woman, she's extra special. Why would I be able to do that? Right. She's different than the rest of us. She's superhuman. When in reality, it's just that it's just one woman getting an opportunity. And if more women get more opportunities, and it's just the big snowball effect, and it just spreads like wildfire, which is not really a good comparison, considering someone that lives in Tahoe. But.
True. It's funny, the second you see someone, even look at the BIPOC movement too. If you see a person of color in a film, and that inspires a whole different demographic that they can do that too. But it is funny, the second that there's more within something, you can kind of be oh, well, I like that type, so I want to do that type, instead of just being well, I can't do that. It's not in my wheelhouse.
It's not in the cards. It's obviously not in the cards because I don't see anyone doing it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Our mother's generation, just that wasn't in the cards for them. And I took inspiration from some ski racers because that's definitely something that we both had to start in. But in free riding, just more that there was a lack of presence.
There's very few women in the sport that I have admired that are still in the sport for whatever reason. And so you can like, the mentorship is tricky because they're no longer doing it. And there's a lot of people that I'm like stoked to have coming up with me, but they're not necessarily like mentors. And then like, I mean, you are even in a different part of your life and you're not going to slow down, but it's not like you and I are going to be training all fall together. And you know, like you are in a part where like you have a child that you're going to be taking care of in the world. And so like, I feel like finding a female that's like ahead of me, still in it, like that's like finding a unicorn, you know?
Yeah.
This might be off topic, but when do you feel like your ski career really picked up, like in age? Like when did you feel like, oh, this is like, I'm doing this?
Mid-30s.
Yeah.
It took a while.
Is it like something that you really, like wanting to be a mother, is that something like that you really, really strongly desired, but you put off because of your career? And it's kind of a shame that companies make you feel nervous about doing something that's part of life.
I don't see how that's not just straight inspiration of like, I can do this. I gave birth to a child.
Thank you.